everyone. Bear with me. This is my first video ever. So let me introduce myself and what you're doing here. So my name is Tiffany, and I'm going to be telling you guys my testimony. I'm 25 going on 26, so I'm pretty young. Kind of young to be telling a testimony, but God works in mysterious ways. So let's get the ball rolling. I'm gonna break this down into parts. Now, as far as right now, no, I've never seen any crazy things, like had visions, or I don't know, been like sent to hell or sent to heaven. I know I've heard that in different testimonies or whatever. My testimony is basically how I was brought to Christ, how I found out what the truth was. So, there's so much. So I'm kind of gonna give you like a overview. When Oh man, it started when I was young. I was raised kind of on a farm, in the countryside. I was raised and taught, manners and respect and all that. But I always felt like I was being put under somebody's thumb. I couldn't really live how I wanted to live. And I was a really quiet kid, you know. I I did everything I was supposed to. I worked really hard. I got my first job when I was 6 years old. It's pretty crazy. My mom taught me the value of working and the value of the dollar, and you know what I mean? So I knew how to, whatever I made, I took care of. So I learned that at a pretty early age. When I was around 14, I had my first official boyfriend, right? And I ended up staying with him for 6.5 years. Man, through that whole time, and ladies, you're gonna find a lot of this in common. I went through a lot of struggles. I was always trying to prove to myself that I could be that perfect girlfriend or that just perfect person, and trying to do that and juggle school and juggling home and all that. It was hard. I had 5 jobs at the age of 19. I worked with my mom and dad on the farm. I helped them with their business. I worked at a Sonic. You know what I mean? I had 2 or 3 holiday jobs. Like I was always going and mowing people's yards and cleaning their houses or whatever needed to be done. Anything I could do to make a little extra cash, And I think it was around the age of 18 when I moved in with my boyfriend at the time. Oh, this perfect guy, that I thought was just amazing. And went through some really tough struggles. Like I said, I was always trying to be that perfect person, that perfect girlfriend, working 5 jobs and still coming home and making food every day, 3 times a day, and doing whatever I thought I was supposed to be doing, And things got really dark, things started to get physical, and I thought after a while it just got so bad that I thought my only way out was suicide. So I had tried to commit suicide, which it's not smart. I know it, but everybody goes through it, or most of us go through it, because my real mother, she battled with um, drug abuse and drinking and stuff like that, and so thank goodness, and I thank my God today, because he gave me to my real dad and my stepmom, which raised me awesomely, and I want to thank them, and I want to thank Yahweh. So yeah, so because all that had kind of piled up, um, I didn't think there was any way out of it. You know what I mean? So I had tried to commit suicide, and thank the good Lord I didn't succeed. Um, so around like 19 or so, I woke up one day and I was like, I can't do this. What am I doing? I'm throwing my life away. I'm crazy. Like, what is going on? Um, I was like really sickly looking, my hair was falling out. I was really, really pale, like just, I was like 119 pounds, which for my body standards, I was like really skinny. I did graduate high school, but then after that, to kind of get away from it all and to kind of do what I thought was right, I joined the military. And I joined the Navy, and I left, and I went overseas for 4 years to Japan. Oh, let me get this off here. And without knowing that those were going to be the toughest 4 years of my entire life. I immediately went into a downward spiral. I got over there, and it was like freedom. I'm like now like 20, 21 years old, so I'm able to drink legally. So of course, first thing I did when I got into the party scene was, man, you work all day, you're tired, you want to go out and drink at the end of the day, right? So, man, I started getting all tatted up, I started drinking, I started partying, doing all these things that I thought were cool, because I wanted to establish myself, I wanted to show everybody who I really was, you know what I mean? Uh, what I thought I was doing was filling a hole that was inside my heart. And that hole just got bigger and bigger over time. I thought that the drinking and everything I could get rid of it, that I could just drink away my problems. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I went without talking to my family for 2 years. Because I was running, I thought, well, if I do this, I'm providing for my family, but I just don't want to be near it, And I got lost. I got lost in the drinking and the drugs and the partying and all that. And, it was, boy, I thought it was so fun. And, after a while, it gets, really it's just the same thing every day, and you just get lost in it, to be honest. I mean, you get lost in it. And, 1 month turned into 4 years, and before I knew it, I was realizing that I was an alcoholic, and I had a lot more problems than I thought I did. I had serious mood changes, and I had lost the value in myself. I was a very hateful person. I was very angry. I didn't care about anybody's feelings. I used people. I was loyal to my friends. I was a very loyal person if you knew me, if I could trust you. But very few I ever trusted. And, man, I went through every emotion you could think of, Um, And let's fast forward a little bit. And if you guys want to know any specific details, believe me, I'll be glad to break it down and give you, real details. But I want to get this first out. So I came to the point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. I wanna straighten up my life. And so I began eating really clean. I quit drinking. I quit smoking. Now I did the relapse with everything, but for the majority of it, I quit drinking. I quit smoking. I quit going out partying like I was. I went to the gym. I got into MMA. I met with I'm not going to say their names because I don't want people to talk to me for that reason, but I met some very high people in the UFC and MMA, jiu-jitsu artists, and different things like that. I had my own best friend was a personal trainer of mine, and he was a fighter in Japan. Um, I got into that real big, and I loved it. I just wanted to be healthy, but I was still kind of lost up here. I still felt like I was missing that hole in my heart. Um, so it came time to get out of the military and come home for the first time. Now, I hadn't seen my family in over 4 years. Um, it was a big deal. It was very emotional, and I didn't really think of it at first until I was on the plane going home, and I was like, wow, I can't believe this is happening. Um, Even though I still felt like, really lonely, like I always felt like, even in a crowd of people, in a room full of people, or, you know what I mean, I always felt really alone, and you know what I mean, I had a lot of issues with myself, not feeling like I was worthy. Um, for I don't know, myself or friends, family. I don't know. I don't know where it came from or what. I mean, now I do, but so yeah, big pity party, right? So finally got home, and now me and a friend of mine had been talking for a very long time about moving together and kind of being like roomies. I'm getting out of the military. I'm gonna move to this new place and party and do this and do that, and it's gonna be great and all that, right? So for some reason, I don't know, I chose Florida. I was like, yeah, let's do Florida, right? Now, put a pin in that because it's important later on in the story. So anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna move to Florida, right? So I go home and stay with my parents for a little while, and everything's cool. I'm doing good, like back to normal, never missed a step, and moved to Florida, which was crazy because I didn't have anything but my clothes, which, I mean, I lived out of a steel box for 4 years, so I really didn't have that many clothes. And kind of just did it. I mean, didn't know how to do it, but just kind of just found a place and just moved in. I don't know. So I wasn't ready, for that. But anyway, moved here, and then things started getting really, really strange for me. Um, this is where it starts getting interesting. So I know now, I mean, and I had people tell me about it, but I didn't really understand. I didn't know that uh, PTSD was so widely spread. I had no idea that uh, it's not just those who are in combat who get PTSD. And You know, I pray for my brothers and sisters that are out there really just fighting for their lives, you know what I mean? Because God bless them, there's no telling what they have to struggle with. But I started experiencing really strong PTSD symptoms. And I noticed that I was really uh, scared of people. Like, I don't know, social anxiety was like through the roof. Like, I must have been a hermit in my home for like 6 months. I wouldn't go outside. I didn't even want to check the mail, you know. I literally was just inside all the time. I was scared to get in my car and go anywhere. For most, I was scared to even drive, you know, and the fact that I didn't drive for 4 years while I was overseas. But um, it started getting so bad, and I was really paranoid. Like, that was something new too. I was like extremely paranoid. And then that's when everything started. I was actually looking at going to a counselor because I thought I was psychotic. I thought I was losing my mind because these weird things were starting to happen. It was either one or two things, right? That my house was haunted, I mean, you know, I was haunted or whatever you want to say it, or I was crazy, you know. Now I know the truth, but we'll get to that in a second. So I'm going to kind of go into detail about what was going on because I'm pretty sure a lot of people have this kind of stuff in common. So from the second that we moved into the house, I started feeling like there was this one particular place in the house that was, I don't know, just off, you know. I always had this feeling, and it was always like I don't know if not a vision or like a daydream, or just, I always had this image in my mind that I was going to turn around, and in this spot, this specific spot of the house, I was going to see the figure of a man just standing there in the way, you know, which scared the crap out of me, you know. But I could not shake this feeling. You know, I constantly felt like this. And then that's when I started hearing different noises in the house, you know. And look, before we even go there, no, there weren't things flying around my house. There wasn't like things going like crazy stuff, like, no. But um so then I started hearing these noises, and it would be like these bumps or these loud bangs or something like that upstairs in our attic. Well, we live in a 2-story house, and it's one full bedroom that's upstairs, and then you have the rest of the attic. And I started noticing that these were usually over top the living room. And I mean, you would have the TV on, and you would hear this. You know, it wasn't subtle. It was pretty loud. So at first we thought, well, you know, it's squirrels in the attic, or possibly raccoons or something. You know what I mean? And then I kind of wanted to stay quiet about it because I didn't want people to think I was nuts, first of all. And then secondly, I wanted to see if anybody else noticed this, you know. Well, after a while, my boyfriend started realizing that I wasn't crazy, that, you know, he heard it too. And other people was hearing this, you know what I mean? So I knew that I wasn't crazy. But this pretty much made my anxiety just ridiculous. Like, I just couldn't get over this. I mean, it was, guys, it was so bad that one night I remember, um, like in the corner of my living room, standing there with my gun, like, and having this overwhelming feeling that somebody was in my house and they were going to, I don't know, get me, kill me. I don't know. I just had this I just had this feeling that I was in danger. You know what I mean? And that's why I thought I was losing my mind, going nuts, you know. So, anyway, so yeah, so people started hearing what I was hearing. Friends, family, you know, and kind of freaked them out, you know, which freaked me out, you know. So, uh then I started to get these weird senses, you know, and I could just swear to myself that I could see like shadows, you know what I mean? Like kind of like out the corner of my eye, like I'd be in my bedroom watching TV, and out of the corner of my eye in the hallway, I would see like the shadow go across the hallway, just stuff like that, you know. And it was making me feel crazy, and I was just so terrified to the point where I wanted to stay at work, you know, because I was working nights and I wanted to stay at work. I didn't want to come home, you know, and more things started happening, you know, like I'd be sleeping and I'd wake up and my TV would be on, and it would be on a gospel channel, you know what I mean? And this was before I was saved, you know. I didn't watch. I was like, what? You know, I didn't watch stuff like that, you know. So, like TV on and off, you know, and things were kind of like slightly different. Like, I would notice, hey, was that sitting like that earlier? Or, you know, just a bunch of weird stuff. So, anyway, so one night I was at work, and I started talking to this lady who's now like one of my best friends. I started talking to this lady, and weirdly enough, it started out with a conversation about hair, about dreads, right? And next thing you know, an hour and a half goes by, and we've been talking about God, you know. And look, guys, I was, if you would have known me before the drugs, the partying, the drinking, I was really into heavy metal, like. I wanted to tattoo my whole body. Like, you guys, if you just really would have knew me, you would not have thought that I would want to talk about God at all. And I didn't, to be honest with you. I had all the questions and threw it aside and was like, whatever, you know. Now listen, when I was a kid, I used to go to church every Sunday with my grandmother. So church was not something that I just didn't know anything about, you know. I knew about God, you know. So I don't know what it was. This woman was just so anointed, you know, so filled with the Holy Spirit that it I don't know, it was different with her. Talking with her, it was just different. I didn't feel like somebody was coming at me trying to press religion on me or whatever, you know what I mean? I didn't feel like, I just felt love, you know? I felt like the questions that I had were going to be answered, you know? And so after a long talk, you know, she told me, you know, I'm gonna bring you a Bible, you know. And I thought in my head at the time, I was like, oh, come on, man, I don't want that, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna read that. Yeah, just it's a waste of my time, you know. When 5 minutes ago I was in tears and so heartfelt And I didn't understand why, but now I just didn't want anything to do with it. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird how that stuff works or whatever. So, let's see. A couple nights later, she brought me a Bible. And I was like thinking, wow, this lady's really serious. You know what I mean? I hope she doesn't think that she's going to be like trying to cast demons out of me or whatever. Like, that's kind of nuts, you know? Sorry, guys. This is like, I'm having a really bad hair day here. So anyway, yeah, so that's how it started, okay? And I've done the same thing a lot of people have done, right? Go on YouTube and you're watching all these testimonies about these radical testimonies about how people have been saved, you know, that God's shown them heaven, he's shown them hell, you know, and all this stuff. And I watched like 100 of those, you know, and one of them just, I don't know, just really got to me. You know, I guess that message was really for me. And there was this prayer at the end of the video. And look, I was sitting right here where I am right now with my computer watching these videos, right? And there was a prayer at the end of the video, and they were saying, you know, if you just, basically, you've been trying to fill a void your whole life, right? Like I was, okay? You don't understand why everything has been happening over and over and over again the same way. Nothing ever works out. You know, you just finally get to that point where you have spiraled so far down that that's it. You know, you're done. You've given up, you know. I had tried to commit suicide 3 times. You know what I mean? And nothing I was doing was making me happy. You know, the drinking, the drugs and all that, the partying, the having boyfriends, all that stuff, it did not fill that void. You know? And so I thought to myself, look, what have I got to lose? Honestly. You know, if God's real, if all this is real, if the Bible's real, then what do I got to lose? I've already given myself up to everybody else. Like, I've given my heart to family, friends, boyfriends. I've given my heart to everybody else. And it didn't work. You know, I always leave feeling so broken and just so full of heartache, you know, and I just could not do it anymore. I couldn't physically do it anymore. I was so mentally, verbally, physically just beat down that I couldn't do this. You know what I mean? So I thought, okay, well, what is it just to say a couple words on a screen? You know what I mean? And I didn't know what it was all about. You know, so I seen this prayer on the end of the video, and it was saying, you know, it was basically how you give yourself to Christ, how you give it up to Him, you know. And I read it in my mind first, and I don't know, it was just something about it that really hit me. I mean, it hit me in the heart, you know what I mean? Because I was just so broken, and here I am thinking, well, if there is this, you know, Yahweh, Christ, this guy who really did die for me, and He loves me that much, I want to feel that love. You know, I've never been able to feel that before. I've been looking for that. I've been looking for love in all the wrong places, like the song says, you know. And I was so desperate, you know. I just wanted to feel that connection, that love, you know. And so I said the words that were on the screen, and I said them over and over again until I actually meant them. And next thing I know, here I am, sitting on the couch, pleading to our Father, you know, pleading to Christ to fill me up and change me, take away everything. I didn't want to be the same person. You know, I was just like, I'm so done. I can't do this. If you're the one that's supposed to walk with us every day, I need you to walk with me. I need you, you know. I need you in my life because I can't do it. I've tried. I've tried for a long time to do this. And I mean, I've been beaten, I've been raped, I've been molested, I've been um, just drugged up, I've been partying and trying to find myself. And I just can't, you know. And nothing I do is making it any better. I feel so depressed and so alone, and so I just can't get over that. So if you are truly the truth, the way, and the life, show it to me. I'm right here. And guys, look, it's true. God is real. And that's why I'm telling my testimony today. I can't explain to you. That moment I asked him to come into my heart and change my life and take all the addictions that I had away from me. Take the lust from me. Take the addictions to the drugs, the alcohol, smoking, just all of that. Just take it away from me. Remake me clean, you know? Rebuild me and refresh me, revive me, because I was dead, you know? And guys, I know. I've seen the testimonies. I know it sounds corny sometimes, and I know sometimes it's hard to believe. But it is so true. Like, ever since then, I have literally been the happiest person I've ever been in my entire life. Like, I'm telling you, like, all that hate and all of that I had inside, because I'm telling you guys, I was a horrible person. And you want to talk about cursed like a sailor? I mean, I was a sailor. So, yeah, every other word I was cursing, this and this and that. I had horrible thoughts. I didn't care who you were. I was just, yeah, I was a nasty person. So, dude, from that day, I'm talking about from that day, like that second, it felt like he picked me up and just, I don't know, like just hugged me. Like, I can't explain the feeling. I wept like a baby, okay? And let me go ahead and put this in there. I hardly ever cried because I just didn't care about anything, you know. I mean, I've been hurt so many times in my life that I didn't even know how to cry anymore. And let me tell you, I cried like a baby. I'm telling you. I sat here and I cried, and I just felt for everything that I had done, and I could not believe that I was feeling this love. On my back porch, not in a church. I was feeling it right here, right now, you know. And immediately, I started noticing, look, guys, I didn't change my appearance. I didn't change what I did, and I didn't change how I ate and all that because that's what it says in the Bible, okay? Or that's what I'm supposed to do or whatever. That's not why I did it. I changed because he changed my heart. So when people think, you know, if I become a Christian, I got to change all these things about... No, it doesn't work that way. Because when you ask God to come into your heart and change you, he changes you. Like, from that moment on, I no longer, and I'm dead honest, I'm telling you, I no longer wanted to have a cigarette. Just something as simple as that. I no longer wanted to smoke. I no longer wanted to drink. I no longer wanted to do drugs. And the reason why I did that is because I have horrible chronic back pain. So let me just put a pin in that. I no longer wanted these things. And a week before that, I was going to convert to Buddhism. So I want to thank God right now for not letting me go down that path, because that could have got bad. I went through and threw away all the Buddhist statues I had in my house. I mean, I'm talking about, I cleaned myself up. You know what I mean? I didn't want to dress provocatively. I didn't want to go out to the clubs and you know what I mean? I didn't want that. I didn't want any of that. I just wanted to learn the truth, which is all in here. Any question you got, by the way, it's all in there. All the answers. I've heard that a gazillion times and just kind of brushed it off. But, you know, when you start reading this, not only is it super interesting, but all the answers are in there, guys. The answers to everything. I mean, this is our history book. This is like the only history book that really matters, to be quite honest with you. But that's my opinion. So, guys, take it easy on me. So, yeah, man. So after that, I was just completely radically changed. I mean, and it was hard for people around me to kind of accept that. I don't know. They thought I was faking it. You know, I get people mocking me all the time. You know, but dude, if I was faking it, it would be really hard to fake this persona every single day of my life. To fake being this happy every day of my life. Because let me tell you, like, I sometimes, and I've said this to my family members before, if somebody was outside my house looking inside my house, they would think I had lost my mind. Because randomly, I will just get up and start dancing and singing through the house and praising my God. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm that happy, you know. And, man, I just want to think. I do thank Him every single morning I get up. I thank God. Thank you so much for completely changing my life. You know, because I was so unhappy. I mean, I was getting ready to be put on all kinds of medications for depression, anxiety, pain, all this stuff. He took all that from me. That's why I'm on here telling you today, Jesus is the only way, man. He's the only way to solve all these problems that you're going through. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying saying it like it's a new product on the market or something. I'm being dead honest, man. It's true. It is true. The Bible's true. You know, Jesus is really true. Like, He is the way. You know, like, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I can't even believe that I'm putting this out for the whole world to see. You know, it's a lot of personal stuff, you know, and I'm going to get ridiculed and I'm going to get mocked and people are going to think I'm crazy or that I'm lying or whatever. But, dude, really, if I had to sit here for, almost 40 minutes now and tell you about my life, you think I'm lying? Okay. But, guys, look, that's the gist of my testimony right there. And I had to get it out, man. It's just so awesome that He completely turned my whole life around. To the point where when I'm at work, I'm telling my friends about Yahweh. You guys know who that is? Man, He's awesome. Anything you got going on, take it to Him. He'll take care of it. You know what I mean? I got so much stuff to share with you guys, and I hope you'll stick around for this channel because there's going to be so much more stuff. I got so much planned. You know, He's so good. So, I'm sorry if this testimony was disappointing for you, you know, in some kind of way, that it wasn't this just amazing, crazy, you know, all that. I'm sorry, you know what I mean? But at least it's true. You know what I mean? It's true. Everything I've said here today is 100% true. If you guys want any deep, dirty details about anything that you've heard, feel free to ask. Feel free. I'll let you guys know. I'll get in more detail if you want me to. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Guys, I'm telling you, this is real stuff. Just because you can't see him doesn't mean he ain't real. I mean, look, you can't see the wind, but the wind's real, right? Excuse me, I got tongue tied. But look, I'm just a regular, crazy, kooky person who has had their life totally, radically changed, man. My heart is so different now. Look, I love everybody now. Like, I just be walking down the street and just want to grab a hold and hug somebody and just let them know that I love you. You're all, you out there in the internet world, we're all brothers and sisters. I love you guys. Look, no matter what you're going through, okay, you're never alone. Believe me, I felt alone for a while. You are never alone. Jesus is right there. All you gotta do is talk to him. All you gotta do is just give it up. Give all those struggles, all those burdens that you were not meant to bear. Lay it down for him. The battle's not yours, man. It's his, and he's already won. So I just hope that anything that I've said has touched somebody out there. And I know there's so many people that have been where I've been. It's been there and done it, And for the sake of this first meeting, I didn't go into too much detail. But some of you that are in a really, really dark place in your life and just cannot seem to get out of the rut that you're in, or think that you're happy, but deep down you really just don't feel that way. You feel like if you aren't in the constant party life, or if you're not constantly surrounded by people, you are so alone. You guys, there's an answer to that, And I'm not trying to force you into anything, okay? By the way, Christianity is not a religion, okay? It's a relationship with God through his son, Christ. And, I don't believe in religion. It's man-made law. But again, I'm not going to go into that because that's just my opinion, and I don't want to offend anybody out there, okay? But I just want to let you guys know that he's so real. He is so real. And he's here, and he's ready to accept you guys. Like, he's like this, arms wide open. Come on, man. Bring it in. I'm right here. You know what I mean? I know I'm silly, but it's true. It's so true. Okay, so I'm not going to keep talking your heads off because I know you've been sitting here for a while watching this. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to watch this and listen to my testimony. And I just want to tell you that I love you guys. God bless you. So just God bless you. I'm praying for you guys, But anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to watch my testimony and hear me out. I love you guys. I hope everybody has a great day. Drive safe if you're driving. Hopefully you're not watching this and driving. But yeah, have a great day and God bless. Bye.